Guten Tag. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a matchup in Week 10 in Germany versus the Seattle Seahawks. And as we have done every week this season, let's take a look at the injury report. Starting off with the first three players who have officially been listed as out. You have Russell Gage at wide receiver, Luke Gedeke at guard, and J.J. Russell at linebacker. In the case of Gage, he is still dealing with a hamstring injury. In the case of Luke Gedeke, a foot injury still, which knocked him out of last week's game versus the Rams. And then with J.J. Russell, it is a hamstring injury as well. In the case of Gage, I think that so far this year, this first season has been admittedly pretty disappointing. He hasn't been used in the best ways in this offense whenever he has been healthy, and this has been something that Gage has been struggling with on a week-to-week basis now, his overall health. He has had hamstring issues for the longest time now, and they are still persisting, and it seems like they haven't necessarily been getting better in the past couple of weeks. It just seems like they have been maintaining a level that is knocking Gage out of games. So, not a great thing to see there for Gage. Hopefully he can rest up and get back sometime in the near future. And of course, guys like Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Scotty Miller a little bit probably as well, Brashad Perriman, maybe Jalen Darden a little bit. These are all guys who are going to step up in the absence of Gage and get some targets thrown more their way. Also, maybe a guy like Cade Otton as well. Lou Gedeke, foot injury. It knocked him out of last week versus the LA Rams, knocks him out this week versus the Seattle Seahawks. Nick Leverett is slated to be the starting left guard. I actually wrote an article about Nick Leverett in a recent post at MrBucsNation.com. Go check that out if you guys haven't already. I talked about how Nick Leverett can be a guy who can potentially step up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the absence of Luke Gedeke. Reason for that, Leverett didn't necessarily do a bad job last week versus the Rams. He was going up against Aaron Donald, so given the circumstances, hey, not bad. And Leverett certainly showed a lot of fire and a lot of determination in that game. He was running on every play. He was protecting his guys in terms of after the play, scrum type situations. So Leverett definitely brought a lot of juice. And if he continues to perform well and really bring in some energy and some juice to the offensive line and the offense as a whole, there's a legitimate possibility that this foot injury could have potentially cost Luke Gedeke his starting position along the offensive line. So definitely one worth paying attention to. Of course, definitely hope that Luke Gedeke is able to recover from this foot injury soon and get back on the field for the Bucs. And then finally, in the case of J.J. Russell, he has been a fourth linebacker for this team now for a little bit. K.J. Britt was placed on the IR. Olakunle Fadukasi has been the third linebacker in Britt's absence behind Levante David and Devin White. Russell has been a special teams guy, and he is probably going to be missed to a certain degree in terms of special teams play. The Bucs do have a few guys that they can elevate from the practice squad. That's definitely a possibility here moving forward. So, yeah, a little bit of special teams play is going to be missing now due to J.J. Russell's injury with his hamstring as well. Then in the case of Cam Brate with a neck injury, he is listed as questionable. However, he did fully participate in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's practices. So I think it is a pretty decent chance that Brate is able to play in this game, which is a cool thing to hear because, man, oh man, Brate has been dealing with such unfortunate injuries throughout this season. Concussion issues, neck issues. He was taken out on a stretcher at one point. He was okay, thankfully, but yeah, has not been great for Brate in terms of injury luck so far this year. Hopefully he is fully healthy and able to contribute for the Bucs passing game moving forward. And it's going to be interesting to see how the snap count works regarding the tight end room if Brate is able to return, because Cade Otton's actually done some pretty good work. In fact, he had the game-winning touchdown last week versus the Rams. So do you just automatically slot Brate as the tight end one? Or do you possibly just say, hey, it's Cade Otton's job now, and move on with the rookie as your tight end one? That's a legitimate question that I think is worth asking, and we will see what that answer is moving forward. It could be just what they were doing in the past before Brate got hurt, where you saw a little bit of Brate, you saw a little bit of Otton in there. Who knows? That is a distinct possibility. Keith also gets a decent chunk of playing time in there as well as a blocking tight end. So there's a lot of guys vying for snaps. Kyle Rudolph, I assume, would probably go back on the inactive list if Brate is able to play, but if not, maybe Rudolph will be active in that matchup as well. But yeah, let's pay attention to Brate and Otton and see who ends up getting more playing time as well as some more targets thrown their way if Brate is able to play, like I think is a possibility. Then finally, some other guys worth mentioning here. Tom Brady had a rest day, so he was limited on Thursday, full participation on Friday. Mike Evans, ribs and ankle. Mike Evans took a pretty decent shot in that Rams game. Kind of interesting that this is the second year in a row that a star player on the Bucs is dealing with a rib injury after a Rams game. But, hey, that is what that is. That's, just speculation on my part. But anyway, limited participation on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for Mike Evans, but there is no indication that he is questionable or anything along those lines. He should be good to go. Julio Jones still dealing with some knee issues, did not participate on Wednesday, but was full go on Thursday and Friday. Seems like he is going to play. That is good. Nick Leverett was listed with an illness on Thursday, but did participate on Friday, so he should be good. Shaq Mason, personal reasons and an ankle injury. He did not participate on Wednesday, but was limited on Thursday and full go on Friday. Again, no indications that he is in question of playing. Finally, you have Antoine Winfield Jr. He was full go on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I believe the expectation here is that Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to make his return. There is no indication here of Winfield being questionable or out, so it seems like the Buccaneers are going to get a very, very big boost to their secondary in Antoine Winfield Jr. returning. Great news. The secondary was still playing good, and the defense as a whole was still playing good in the absence of Winfield, but he's one of the best players on that defense, so I think that this will be very, very good and just help out the defense and help out the secondary even more against the Seattle Seahawks team that, again, has really defied expectations so far this year, especially on the offensive side of things with Geno Smith. So, hey, it is what it is. I am definitely going to be happy to see Winfield Jr. back out there on the field, playing in the nickel, playing safety. Great versatility, great player overall. Big boost to the Buccaneers defense. But folks, that is it for this injury report. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I would love to hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Now I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.